Welcome back to Scarlet and Maze. I'm Adam.
I'm Zach.
Hey Zach.
Yo.
So Michigan 26, Iowa nothing. I honestly don't think we need to talk much about this game. I'll just
Yeah.
say that since Connor Stallions left the team, Michigan is obviously 6-0, but also 4-2 against the spread, with one of those two being there because Purdue scored with 18 seconds left against mainly backups. Toughest part of Michigan's schedule by a long shot, with Michigan playing at Penn State, against Ohio State, and in Indy against Iowa. And Michigan beat the spread in all three of those games. So seems like Connor Stallions got fired for nothing, if we're being honest. But do you have any thoughts on the game?
Um. Honestly, I didn't watch it, but congrats to you and your team. Um. I did call the 0 points though.
Yeah. I mean, that was like the betting line was 0.5 for each half.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Iowa had one possession past the 50, and it was
Really?
a turnover. I don't even remember how it happened. I don't know. To be honest,
Yeah.
like it's funny how quick I was like bored with the like
Yeah.
Michigan went up 3 and I was like, oh, game over. And then they went up 10 and I was like, okay. Like I still watched the whole thing, but I was not as engaged as a normal Michigan game, even like a normal blowout, because I was like, all right, it's over. And it's funny to think like 3-4 years ago, I'd have like killed for Michigan to be in one, and it's the third, and I'm like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But that's fun. Transfer portal 12, Ohio State, nothing. So I'm not trolling. I just thought this was a good spot to talk about it. It's kind of crazy, right? Like it's easy to point out portal losses, but most of them don't really matter, and we don't know who they're bringing in. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to say mass exodus, but like they lose their starting quarterback. They lose who was a receiver?
Julian Fleming.
Julian Fleming. Um, they lost a
Yeah.
really good running back. Like some of the pieces are like depth, and some of them were contributors or starters, whatever.
Who did what running back? Oh, they lost. They lost Pryor.
Yeah.
Is that the running back you're talking about? Yeah. 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 No, like literally, honestly, none of them are shockers at all at this point. Like none of them are surprising. Like the only reason that Kyle McCord's a little surprising was because of how fast it happened. But like, yeah, none of like Julian Fleming was the number one receiver in his recruiting class, and he hasn't been the number one receiver on the team at all. Like it's not surprising that he wants to go somewhere else where he's going to get the ball more.
I mean, next year
And
could have been his year, but
right,
we
but
don't know.
I think he saw the room and like knew he needed to go somewhere else to be the guy.
But like,
But
so Kyle McCord goes 11-1.
yeah, no, it's surprising, but it's not like it's a shocker. Like he kind of was not that great, and I feel like yeah, I just for some reason I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
wasn't like I was like,
So
wow, okay, Ohio State screwed or anything, but
your boy Daquan Finn entered the portal. There's
yeah,
Cam Ward, right?
yep.
Which quarterback, or it could be someone else, but which quarterback from the portal are you hoping for, assuming you're not just wanting to roll with Aaron Noland and Devin Brown?
Honestly, I'd be fine. Well, so there's Lincoln Kineholtz too. Is a
Right,
four. I
right.
don't even know if I say that, but he was a 4-star last year too. So yeah, they've got guys. If they don't bring in a transfer quarterback, I wouldn't be worried. Like if they really needed to get somebody, I think they would have enough money to throw at them that they would get the guy that they wanted. You know?
Yeah. I mean, the rumor was that Cam Ward got a few $1 million offers like already. So I'm assuming
Right.
Ohio State was one of those,
Yeah, I'm not sure,
which
but
is, against the NCAA rules. So I'm assuming that the NCAA and the Big Ten are going to crack down, because that's I would say that creates an advantage, a competitive advantage, if you're skirting the rules to try to bring people in. But whatever.
Yeah, so I think based on based on what he said recently, I think if Dante Moore was smart, he'd go to Ohio State. Just based on his comments recently, talking about how he wants to go somewhere where he could be developed, because Michigan does not have a great history of that, and Ohio State has one of the best in the country. So,
Would
but yeah,
you
I'd love.
would you want Dante Moore to start for Ohio State next year?
Okay, so that's the thing though, is like when Justin Fields came in, I feel like you could have said the same thing. Like it's not like he'd done anything before you came to Ohio State, then immediately he was the guy.
Okay. All right. Wait, so did you say which one you would want?
Um, whichever guy ends up at Ohio State, that's who I want. That's who I'm rolling with.
All right.
I trust
Even if
Ryan
it's
Day.
nobody?
Like I think like Devin Brown's ready to roll. So like if Ryan Day trusts Devin Brown, I'm cool with that. If Ryan Day brings in somebody and he beats out Devin Brown, I'm cool with that. But there's not anyone specific. Like I feel like it's Ohio State. Like if they really wanted to get somebody, they could probably make it happen. You know?
Okay. Uh for the record, we both went undefeated this year or this week because we both
Yeah.
picked Michigan to win, but my spread was better because I picked them to win by a little more.
You should have gave me a bonus point for getting Iowa's score right though.
I could have, but I can't do that percentage in my head, so I'm not gonna. But so I officially beat you by just about 8%. So that's good. It was 80% to 72.07. So I got way closer to 10 than I thought I was going to two
Yeah.
weeks
I
ago. But
I kind of just had I mean I had to make some crazy picks there at the end and I was
yeah,
wrong. But there was like the one week there was like three of them that I picked that were crazy and or I picked four of them and like three of them were really close.
right.
But lost
Um,
all of them, so
all right, college football playoff takes. What do you got?
yeah. I think it's absolutely disgusting that they left Florida State out. And like I don't think there's any argument that would like that I couldn't come up with something to like counter with against that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there's no way talk. There's not even going to be remotely close to talking me into it. Like it's ridiculous that they left Florida State out.
Yeah.
No matter what way you paint it, like you can't just assume that Alabama's better because they just beat Georgia.
The craziest thing to me is that Florida State beat two SEC schools. It's
Yeah,
not like they had an Alabama type schedule.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
Alabama had an easier schedule than Florida State.
and they beat LSU by 21.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the better SEC teams. They went 9-3. They beat them
Um,
by 21.
so Nick Saban dismissed Bama's loss to Texas by saying it was so long ago and they're a different team now. I'm like, why
Every
play
team
the
is a
game?
different team from week to week.
They barely beat Auburn
Yeah,
last week. But
yeah,
I'm just like, why even play the game? So he
right.
was saying, or the SEC commissioner was saying, if Bama got left out, then there would like, why would we schedule anybody? And I'm like, why did you schedule anybody? Because you played the game and you lost it, and then
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
so dumb.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I
Well, and
mean,
it's
so
like it's not like, and I get like the kind of like you like I bring up the fact that Cardale Jones was a third string quarterback and Ohio State won the national championship with him. But then people want to counter like, well, Ohio State won 59-0 with him the game before. That's freaking garbage. Yeah, just because this quarterback hasn't fared well in these couple of games,
well, and
like Cardale,
it was the third string quarterback on Saturday. The backup
right?
was back. He just had a concussion.
Yeah, so exactly. So like, yeah,
They were led by their defense, and it wasn't good enough because the quarterback was. I mean, really, I think Desmond Howard said he thinks that Jordan Travis being hurt was just an excuse for them to put an SEC school in. Like, even if Jordan Travis was in, they would have said the schedule, they would have said something else to keep them out to
there's
put
nothing else to
an
say
SEC
though.
school in. Yeah.
There's nothing else to say though that you could for you to put them in, and I think that is even worse because then you're putting that whole team's like if it's all on Jordan Travis now. Like if I'm Jordan Travis, I'm like the only reason my team's not in the playoffs is because I got hurt. Like that is devastating.
And they didn't even whatever. I mean, we're on the same side. I hate the SEC bias. I hate that games played don't matter. I hate that Florida State got ranked number 4, won their conference championship, a team in front of them lost, and then they dropped. They put them number 4, hoping they would lose. They didn't lose, and then they're like, well, whatever, you lost. In our eyes, stupid.
Ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
Do you have any more on that?
No.
All right. On to our predictions. So Sugar Bowl is number 3, Texas, favored by 4 against Washington. I honestly I think any of these 4 teams could win the whole thing. There's not like Georgia from a couple years ago. But there's not even like a weak team.
Like, or even like
good. Georgia would have been good. Florida State probably would not have won, but like they still have one of the best defenses in the country. Whatever. These 4 teams, I feel like any of them could win.
I think the closest.
Go ahead.
I think the closest year to this year, as far as like the spread of like really good teams, was probably 2019 when there was Clemson, LSU, and Ohio State. And then I think the 4th team was Oklahoma. I think.
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever it was, LSU blew out in the semifinal, but
yeah. I mean, I've had a number of people be like, "Oh, Alabama's going to kill Michigan." I'm like, I mean, maybe. Like, I don't think they're going to blow them out if they win. I could see Alabama win. It's not like going all the way back to last year. Going into the game, I said I think TCU is better than people are giving them credit for. Now, they really disappointed me in the national championship and made my take look way worse again. But
well, then they really disappointed you this year when they went from they're the only team that was preseason ranked that didn't make a bowl game.
Oh no, I mean I don't care about that. They lost a bunch of guys.
Yeah, but that's fair.
Like Alabama is a really good team. This is what I was talking about. Like when the playoff expands next year, there will be upsets. There will be more upsets, and this is a micro version of that. Like anyone could win, get in the game, and anything can happen. There's no, and you can't even say it anymore. But there's no 16-1 seed like in the basketball tournament. Alabama's really good. Texas is really good. Washington's really good. Michigan's really good. So whatever. That said, Texas, Washington.
Can I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
Like what's crazy too is like this is the year before we're gonna expand, and like you list all those teams that could compete, but like you replace any of those teams with Ohio State or Georgia, like
it's
those teams would really you would say the same thing about.
It's malarkey that Ohio State wasn't even talked about.
Yeah, I get to that. Bama. Yeah. Yep.
I don't think Ohio State should have made it, but like to not even be mentioned.
I agree. Like I think they should have been it's in my things no one's talking about. I think they should have been mentioned as alongside with Georgia at least. I think they should have been ranked higher than Georgia.
Yeah.
They have the better resume. Plain and simple. Even with the extra game, like Ohio State has the better resume, which
all right, so Texas, Washington, who do you got?
I think this is such a fun game. Like if you would have told me 6 weeks ago this would have been one of the playoff matchups, I've been like, bet that's really fun. And yeah, so I'm excited for this game. But I think Quinn was like perfect to start that game against Oklahoma State, and he's been playing really well now that he's back. And I think Texas with Quinn Ewers will get it done.
Yeah, I like both teams. I like both quarterbacks. I love Washington's receivers, but Washington being in so many close games is a little scary to me. I'm going to take Texas and your boy Quinn Ewers. I'm going to say 38-35. Don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of defense, but
yeah, are we saying the spread for both these?
We don't have to. Like the pick standings are over, so
yeah. Well, I'll just throw out a score then too.
All right. What do you got?
I think it'll be a little higher scoring than that, but it'll be that close, like 48-45.
All right. So we both got Texas by 3.
Yeah.
All right. The Rose Bowl, Alabama against Michigan. Michigan, last I checked, is favored by 1.5, but I had heard that it may be sliding more towards Alabama. Even still, I think it opened at 2.5 or 3 for Michigan, but whatever. I was surprised looking at the stats for the year. Jalen Milroe is pretty hit or miss, like not just the very start of the year. When he's on, he's really on. And when he's not, he's really not. So he's played against 5 ranked teams this year, and he's thrown at least 1 interception in 3 of them. In those 5 games against ranked teams, he has 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's not super good. Now, full disclosure, one of those games he had 4 rushing touchdowns. That doesn't count. I'm just talking about his passing stats. Against ranked teams, he only has 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I'm going to go with Jesse Minter being able to scheme some things up, so it's hard for Milroe to pass the ball. And I think the key to this game will be kind of if he's able to find room scrambling or in the design runs, whatever. I forgot the exact numbers because I saw it after I printed out my notes. In the game against Alabama, they ran almost 3-1 or 2-1 or something. They ran it way more than they threw it. I think they didn't want to put the game in his hands. They wanted to put it on his legs and the running game. So, I mean, I think Jalen Milroe is going to be really good. This is going to be a good clip for if he torches Michigan because PTSD. But I'm going to take Michigan 27-21.
Yeah. I think it's been impressive. Like, I don't know his stats, but like the way he turned around after he got benched in the USF game. The
So.
Jalen Milroe, he got benched. And then but I think it's been really, really impressive the way he's turned around because I can remember I was watching that Texas game, and every time he dropped back to pass, I was excited because I bet on Texas to win the game. And so I was like, oh, this guy's throwing the ball. Sweet. Because like for a while there, like he was either throwing the ball to the ground or throwing the ball to the other team. And it was that ugly that I was like, okay, my bet's chilling every time he dropped back to pass.
Right.
But I think he's obviously a different player than that week. And yeah, I like Alabama here. I like Michigan. Michigan's been really good. Michigan's had a great run and this great year. And but Nick Saban with a month to prepare, and yeah, and they're rolling. They just beat Georgia. Yeah, I like Alabama here. I'll
See,
go.
so this brings up like we're not even doing basketball this year, but when a team would end the regular season or win their conference tournament in college basketball, people would be like, "Oh, they're peaking at the right time," and I'm like, "This isn't the right time. The right time is in March Madness.
Yeah.
What are we doing?" So, like, they did beat Georgia, but the week before that, they struggled against Auburn, and he struggled too. I don't know if he is like peaking
No, I wasn't even necessarily
necessarily. You know
saying
what I mean?
peaking. I just think that like that's a game that is gonna like, oh, that's a win that gives you motivation into those weeks, like whether you struggled the week before or not. But also it just shows their ability to like obviously like it's Auburn. I think if they played them 10 times, I think Alabama wins at least 8 of them, and it probably isn't close in most of them. And so like I obviously Alabama got really, really fortunately like lucky on that. They were really fortunate on that 4th and 31 or whatever it was,
Unreal.
like because we wouldn't even be having this conversation if they don't convert that. But I think their ability to after that close game to lock in and have the biggest win of anyone in the whole season is impressive, and just shows that they have that ability to
I
play
mean,
in the
so
big games.
these aren't bad stats, but it's also against Georgia, he was 13 for 23, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 14 carries for only 29 yards. No touchdowns. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he'll
they
be the
ran it
reason that they
41
win.
times and threw it 23 total. To
I'm
go
not
back to
convinced
my
that yeah, I'm not convinced he'll be the reason that they win. I just like Nick Saban is Nick Saban still. It is interesting though because this is the first time in a while. This is the first time in a while that he's not had like a stud at quarterback.
yeah.
And that the last time he was in the playoffs without a stud in the with at quarterback was probably when they lost to Ohio State. It was Blake Sims. Nobody remembers Blake Sims.
Right.
He's probably only a few quarterbacks in the last 10 years to not win a national championship for Bama.
Crazy.
But yeah, so it is interesting that way. But I can't pick against Nick Saban here. I gotta go. I think it'll be a little more low scoring than what I forget what you said. What'd you say?
I said 27-21.
Yeah, I think that's about right, probably. But like, I think like 24-17 Bama.
All right.
Yeah.
Rapid fire turd pile bowls. The I just love it. SRS distribution bowl. So it's like, the serious distribution bowl. Utah versus Northwestern. And this is hard because not everybody is opted out and whatever, but
Yeah.
whatever. Northwestern.
I got Utah.
All right. Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green versus Minnesota. I got Bowling Green.
I also got Bowling Green.
That's interesting because Bowling Green was on Michigan's schedule, and then they're going to beat another Big Ten team. Not that the schedule doesn't matter anymore because they're in
Yeah.
seed, but just saying. Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. We need to do something about this. Rutgers against Miami. I got Rutgers.
Yeah, I've also got Rutgers.
The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl, Auburn against Maryland. I got Maryland.
Yeah.
I don't know if Talia's playing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if
I
Peyton
was literally
Thorne is
thinking that as you
playing.
said
It would
that.
be a good thing for Maryland if he is, probably, but
Yeah. Yeah,
uh
I think either way, honestly, Maryland.
the ReliaQuest Bowl with Wisconsin against LSU. LSU's favored by 10.5. I think it's garbage that these two teams are playing each other.
Yeah, what the heck?
Wisconsin is 2 games worse. It's in the South. Like, come on. And this is going to be a game
We're
where
both gonna pick LSU, and then Wisconsin's gonna win.
I
Wisconsin's gonna
don't
pull
think
it off.
I don't think Wisconsin's going to. I've bet on Wisconsin way too many times this year. But this is going to be a game where it's like, oh, see, the SEC is better than the Big Ten. I got LSU.
Nobody's saying if anyone says that, they're ignorant.
Yeah, Paul Feinbaum's going to say it like 80 times. I obviously am a Michigan fan and whatever, and everybody hates Bama, but like, I need Paul Feinbaum to just eat his own liver and like not be able to talk about how Bama's better than Michigan and whatever.
I like Paul Feinbaum.
Of course you do, because he hates Jim Harbaugh.
I don't.
The
I
Peach
don't.
Bowl.
Wait, I didn't
Well,
pick.
oh yeah, who do you?
I got LSU.
There we go. The Peach Bowl, number 11 Ole Miss against number 10 Penn State. I got Ole Miss just because Penn State's offense sucks.
I got Penn State.
This is like best receiver is sitting out, but who cares?
I got Penn State.
Okay. Citrus Bowl, Iowa, number 17 against number 21, Joe Milton in Tennessee, assuming Joe Milton plays. Maybe he said he's not. I don't know. Don't care. Tennessee's favored by 7.5.
I picked Iowa assuming Joe Milton was playing, but if he's not playing,
I did too. That's how Iowa wins, is picking like 2 or 3 pick sixes on Joe Milton.
Yeah, for real.
Period.
But yeah, maybe even if it's the backup.
I mean, if the backup is worse than Joe Milton, it's not.
But I feel, yeah, dude, I don't know. I feel like the backup is probably it's Nico, right? He was a 5-star.
Oh yeah, but still, why isn't he playing all year? You know what I mean?
Because they wanted to give Joe a shot
For like the third time.
Dude, he did ball out in their bowl game last year, though.
That's true. We don't know
Yeah.
who's sitting out for Iowa in the secondary.
Yeah,
Or
I
the
got Iowa
crowd
though.
where the ball's gonna land. The Cotton Bowl, number 9, Missouri against number 7, Ohio State, and Kleinholtz, the quarterback. Is Devin Brown gonna be back?
I assume Devin Brown will be back. I don't know what I don't even remember what his injury was.
I don't either.
I don't think it was season ending. I didn't look into it. I just assumed based on his tweet the other day that he was going to be playing, but maybe he just meant for next year.
What was his tweet?
The one with the ships burning.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was another one too. I got Ohio State.
Yeah, I got Ohio State by a million.
They they care about these games, and Missouri sucks. So
Yeah,
um
I do really like Drinkwitz though.
yeah, that's fine. They're just not good. They're
No, yeah,
definitely
they
not the
don't.
ninth best team in the country.
No,
Uh, one step further take, not really a hot take, definitely not a cold take. What do you got?
it's not. It's not really a take, but it's like the college football playoff should just expand today. Not only for Florida State's sake, but because both Ohio State and Georgia would have a good chance at winning the national championship if they did.
I
And
just I'm go ahead.
I think that like any team that you're like at this point, like we're expanding next year, and like this is the worst year for this case. Like there hasn't been many times where the seventh ranked team you would genuinely feel like they would have a shot at the national championship. And like I think that they should just expand. They're expanding next year anyway, and this would be the most entertaining year. Like I doubt there'd be there'll be this many teams that you genuinely feel like you have a shot at the natty in the future.
Maybe I was just laughing at the start, not because your idea is dumb, but because my one step further take is the BCS would have been just fine this year. So like if Florida State is already pissed, then whatever. Like if they're already pissed off, who cares? They're pissed either way. Michigan, Washington for the national title would have been just fine. Because the more teams we add, the more it muddies the water. It's not shoot, who was I listening to today? And someone, Bruce Feldman, had an article, I guess. I listened to an interview with him, and they referenced the article he wrote, but he said college football's regular season was the best regular season in sports, and it's not anymore. He was making the point in part because of what happened to Florida State, but I mean, I'm with him. I liked when it was lose and you probably don't have a chance, but
Yeah. But then
whatever.
it sucks. But then it sucks when you don't lose and you don't get a chance anyway.
Yeah, but it didn't happen anyways with with 4 teams. So whatever. Screw Florida State. Should have been Michigan, Washington. I kind of hope it ends up Michigan, Washington, anyways, just for that reason. But
Okay.
whatever. Viewer questions. Did Ohio State's pursuit of portal quarterbacks cause McCord to transfer, or is his transfer going to cause Ohio State to pursue a quarterback in the portal? What do you think?
I think that question doesn't really fully make sense because, like, how would I know?
No, is what do you think, though? You know what I
But, like,
mean?
what do I think about what?
You're really playing politics, saying, I hope, the quarterback I want in the portal is the one that they get.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
I mean, I don't know, dude. It's just like not a lot of the quarterbacks in the portal are that impressive. But like if
you're
Ryan
going
Day,
Daquan Finn. What do you mean?
yeah, but he's really impressive, but he's impressive in the MAC. So like I honestly he'd probably be him or Dante Moore. I'd be the most excited about.
Dang, not even Cam Ward.
I don't know, man.
All
He's
right.
just kind of he's just kind of at me. But if he comes in and Ryan Day names him the starter, I'm
I
all
know.
for it.
Oh, I
I'm all
know.
for it. But
I'll be having
I
this
just
clip at the start of next year. uh, I
no,
would love to think that his transfer is forcing Ohio State to pursue someone in the portal because it's by far the funnier of the two options.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I honestly Either way, I'm like, okay, if you like felt like you wanted to jump in the portal that fast, like I don't want you. I didn't even want you as our quarterback anymore.
I do hope at some point we get an interview where he explains why. Like, was he just getting harassed by the fans? Was he told
Which
someone
that
was
is,
coming?
if he's leaving for that reason, that is like you're gonna have pressure and fans no matter where you go. But like, yeah, it's gonna be worse at Ohio State than most schools, but just because they have more fans. But at the same time, like there's always gonna be a ton of pressure on that position.
But like
At,
fans weren't
as,
even
at,
dicks to Cade McNamara.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He ended up
but
making the playoff, but
when Cade didn't lose to Ohio State, like
what?
Cade did not lose to Ohio State.
I just wanted you to say it again.
Okay,
That's so funny. Oh man. Second question. If
I don't even know
non-playoff
if I answered
bowl,
that question.
huh?
Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did for sure. But no, yeah, like I said that about like how like I don't even want him to be our quarterback at this point. But like, best of luck to him still though.
There you
Yeah,
go.
go ball
If
out somewhere else.
if non-playoff bowl games matter, why are so many guys sitting out and not waiting to enter the portal? It's a great question.
I don't know. I think
Great question.
is it like what? So what's the solution? Just get rid of bowl games?
Whoa, I mean, I didn't say that. I just think they don't matter. But we've been over this a bunch.
So then
Uh,
what's the point of complaining about them not mattering? Like obviously they matter less. Like I mean, I they still matter. Like if Ohio State loses, I'm gonna be disappointed. But like obviously I'd be way more disappointed if they like compare like I won't even my disappointment will not near my disappointment in the playoff last year when they lost to
yeah,
Georgia when they missed the field goal. Like it could nothing
that
could
was like the worst
come
kick in the nuts ending, just about, except
yeah,
for like if
yeah.
you were an Auburn fan playing against Alabama. Jeez. Oh, geez. To be honest, I wrote that question. That wasn't a viewer question. I just wanted to say
Dude,
non-playoff
I
games don't
honestly felt
matter.
like it was you. I should have
It was. Uh,
you always bring that up, dude.
things no one is talking about. What do you got?
I said mine. I said it earlier.
Oh
It's
yeah,
that
that's right.
I think Ohio State should have been considered just as much. And I'll go into like the details now. Like
Sure.
Ohio State has better wins easily. Ohio State's only loss was at number one and by six, and Georgia's only loss was in a neutral site game in their home state.
By 10.
Ohio State had yeah by 10.
Yeah.
Ohio State should have been ranked higher. Not that it matters, but
Yeah. My thing no one is talking about is Mike Sainristil, who began his career for Michigan on offense and then has played the last couple of years on defense, has now caught passes from Shea Patterson, Dylan McCaffrey, Joe Milton, Cade McNamara, JJ McCarthy, Max Duggan, Mason Garcia, Gavin Wimsatt, Kaiten Hauser, Talia Tungavailoa, and Deacon Hill. I believe he also has scored on passes from 6 or 7 of these 11 guys also. He has a number of pick sixes.
wow,
That's wild.
that's funny. That's fun. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Uh, tweet of the week.
He should have went to Colorado though.
Oh man, that would have been so fun.
So he could play both
Or
ways.
he should have gone to Michigan, and then they would have two both way guys.
But why don't they just play Sandstrom both ways?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. That's why
The
I say he
receivers
should
are
go to
fine.
Colorado.
Yeah, that's fair. Uh, tweet of the week. I got two, so I'm gonna.
Of course you have two. I was gonna say how many you got.
Yeah, I know. I limited it. I had like 5, and I cut them way down again. It's just hard, and they're different topics this time, at least. The first one is from at Go So Hard, which is GEAUX, because they're from the South or something. Watching Greg McElroy tell me a team can't overcome subpar quarterback play to win a natty is comedy gold.
The best part about that is I literally said basically that word for that tweet when he was saying that. Like I was like
Oh,
yelling at the TV. I was
found your
mad.
burner.
Yeah, for real. That might as well be.
Yeah. All right, what's yours?
Mine is from it's Ohio State's official account, but Ohio State has had 6 Heisman finalists in the last 6 years.
How many
Pretty
winners?
impressive. 0.
Same as Michigan.
Wow.
Huzzah. That
But I mean, like 6 in a row
is
is kind of
crazy.
wild. It's kind of wild.
It's like Ryan Day is like Lincoln Riley light.
Only 2 of them, 3 of them have been quarterbacks.
I just mean he keeps getting guys and then a few of them win. My second tweet is from Brian Mack. Kyle McCord's last pass attempt against Michigan was a game-sealing interception. So in that one very specific way, he is exactly like CJ Stroud. Oh, man. Rest in peace, sweet prince. Kyle McCord. I was hoping he was going to be back.
I actually didn't like. I really didn't think he'd be. I really didn't think he was that bad. Like,
I don't think
wasn't
he was
great.
that bad either.
He has a great arm.
It sucks that he had to follow CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's like
the
they had
long list of great quarterbacks.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at him. I mean, they have the pictures of they have went from Haskins in 2018 to Fields in 2019 and 2020, and then Stroud in 21 and 22, and before that it was JT Barrett.
Man.
Before that it was Braxton Miller, and before that it was
Terrell
your
Pryor?
boy. Yeah, Terrell Pryor.
Yeah. Douchebag.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when we're going to record again next. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, but whenever that is, until then, we'll see you next time. Go Blue.
Go Buckeyes.